is adding AI functionalities to your Flutter app using the AI Toolkit. For that, we have Fatma Zara. She is a software engineer and a freelancer from Mauritius, and she's also a WTM ambassador as well as a previous GDSE lead. So, Fatma, if you are present in the session, I think you have
Yes.
controls to be able to share your screen.
Can you hear me properly?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I will be presenting the screen now. Thanks. Let me know if you can't see my screen. Let me know. Unmute yourself and let me know. Right. Yeah. So hi everyone. I am Zahra and I'm a software engineer. I've been a software engineer for 4+ years now, and also a Google Women Tech Maker ambassador. So basically, I specialize in mobile, but I also work onto .NET solutions, right? So our topic for today is adding AI functionalities in our Flutter application using AI Toolkit. Let's see. Okay, one sec. Okay, yeah, sorry. Okay, so basically, you might be asking yourself, okay, why use AI inside of an application? Well, because it can act as an intelligent companion. Let's take an example of an e-commerce website. If you go on Amazon, for example, you would be having your products and then the prices. Depending on your taste, you would be making your purchases. Now, if you had an AI inside of this website, for instance, if you wanted to buy a dress, it would be able to tell you things, it would be able to give you information that you need, right? For instance, let's say that you want to know if this dress is good for your weight or your height. Well, you would be asking the AI and it would be giving you information onto this. That's why we could integrate AI inside of an application. So basically, we have some agendas for today. Before getting inside of codes, this agenda has been tailored to help you understand better about some terminologies because it's very important. We hear about AI agents, we hear about generative AI, but what are they, right? So that's why I will be walking you through agents, AI agents, generative AI and its evolution into generative AI agents. I will also be talking about Firebase AI tools because we will be using Firebase, and I will tell you why later. Then we'll look into some use cases, our use case, and we'll look at some demo. So let's get started. So basically, agents are basically, we think of them as traditional software agents, right? They are basically rule-based programs, and they are excellent for fixed, repetitive tasks. So you can think of as an example of an email routing system. If you wanted to, for instance, take some specific emails and move them into like specific folders, you would write some rules, and these rules are explicit, right? If you receive a mail from the GDG of Pakistan, you would want to move it to a specific folder. You can't do anything beyond these rules. So that's why they are basically called rule-based, right? Now, they have a few set of functionalities, the first one being rule execution. And this is going to allow you to carry out tasks strictly as they were programmed. So they can't do anything beyond these rules. Task automation is more for data backups. For instance, you want to probably back up your data every day at 10 a.m. You can tell it, okay, if you're not able to back up at 10 a.m., you can try again maybe at 11. So these are rules that you can set. You have structured input handling. and this is going to work best when you have formatted data, for instance your IDs. They have very predictable outcomes because we are going to be producing the same results every time, right? And it also has manual updating because it's going to require human intervention. So it's basically human who are going to be writing these rules. Now, they have also, agents have basically evolved into AI agents, and it has become smarter, right? With AI agents now, we can basically have small programs that can perceive the environment, they can make decisions, and they can take actions to achieve a specific goals. Now, they are always going to be acting in a three-step loop. So it's going to perceive, it's going to decide, and then it's going to act. For instance, how is it going to perceive? It's going to perceive based on user input, or by taking information or data from databases. And then it's going to decide. It's able to decide by either using logics or by using AI model. Now, these logics or this AI model are going to be then giving you the best response based on this input, right? And then it's going to act, it's going to be giving you the best response. It can also change a setting. For instance, if you wanted it to change your application to a specific color, it would be able to do that, right? So that's basically about AI agent. Now we also have agentic AI. Agentic AI is a bit more complex, and as you can see here, I've made like a small diagram. You can see that it shows that agentic AI is a subset of AI agent. Why is that? It's because it's going to take some functionalities, basically the functionalities of this AI agent, and then it's going to add to that. Now, agentic AI is considered as more complex because it's going to have many different agents, AI agents, and it's going to tackle many other subtasks. So basically, you have, I can give you an example. You have customer support, right? In customer support, there are many things that can be done. You can answer customer questions, for instance. The AI agent would take these questions, it would decide on the best possible response, and then it would like give you the answer, right? But there are other things that can be done in customer support, and the AI agent would take on these different subtasks, and it would basically give solutions to any problem that there are in real time. Now, agentic AI or AI agents itself, they have features which makes them different from the traditional agents, right? How are they different? Is that the firstly it can make autonomous decision. So it does not really need any human. It's going to analyze situation and it's going to decide on what to do next. It has goal-driven actions where it can work towards specific outcomes and give you answers on different perceptions, not just a single response. It can learn and it can adapt on its own. So it's always going to be improving over time, over interactions and results that it has. It also has advanced reasoning, right? So this is about AI agents. Now, some AI agents are built on a framework called React. Now, this is not your typical React JavaScript framework, but it's another framework which has been built. It is called the Reason and Act framework. This React framework, it gives our model the ability to observe the environment, its environment. It can reason about what to do next. It can plan steps and even act by using the right tool or APIs. So let me give you an example. If you wanted to plan an itinerary for a weekend in Mauritius, because I'm from Mauritius, right? So let's say that you wanted to plan this a weekend for to be spent in Mauritius. The AI would help you by searching for flights. It would reason on the best route to come to Mauritius. It would search for hotels and then refine the plan based on the price to give you maybe the cheapest flight to Mauritius or then the cheapest price for hotels in Mauritius. So that's how it acts. Now we also have generative AI. Generative AI, I'm sure many of you have heard of. Generative AI is just basically a kind of artificial intelligence, right? And they can learn by observing huge amount of data, right? So with that, once they have been trained to using this information, they are then going to be able to generate content. This content can be in the form in different format. It can be in text, images, audios, or even codes, right? An example would be Gemini, which is Google's multimodal large language model. So Gemini, for instance, it can generate codes, it can generate text and audios and images, right? So let me give you an example. If you wanted this model to generate images of t-shirts, you would need, how you would train it is that you would provide it the model with massive amount of data of t-shirt to tell it what makes it a t-shirt. It could be the shape, it could be the texture, its sleeves, or even the color, or how people are wearing it. And that's how the LLM would be able to generate t-shirts for you if you wanted to. Generative AI also evolved into generative AI agents. How it was able to do that is because it combined advanced AI agents with the capabilities of generative AI to be able to perform complex tasks. And in our presentation today, I will be showing you how it was able to do this. Okay, so I mentioned that we will be using Firebase. We will be using Firebase because it has a few features that we are going to be leveraging onto. For instance, Gemini. We will be using Gemini as our model. We will be using the React framework as a whole and some AI tools. And basically, the Firebase AI tools provides us with all of that. So we don't want to reinvent the wheel, which is why we are using Firebase AI. Firebase AI tools. Now, on its architecture, it already has the Gemini, which is going to act as the brain of the system. It has Jenkit. Jenkit is a server-side framework, which is going to be allowing you to deploy or even build AI workflows. And it also has that React framework that we've been talking about. It has actions, and basically actions are basically AI tools or functions. Now, why do we want to use tools or even functions, right? It's because we want to expose our code to the agent that we will be using. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you have a problem inside of your application. How would the agent know that what the problem is and how it could be resolved? You should be providing it some sort of data, right? And this data will be provided through the AI tools. So let's say, for example, you give it information about your app as a whole, on what phone, on what platform that it is being run of. It's going to take all this information and then be able to troubleshoot and tell you what the problem really is, or for instance why your application is crashing and how it can be resolved, right? So that's why we are using AI tools. Okay, let's take a look at our use case for today. Our use case for today is basically a simple BMI application that I have myself designed. Well, I was actually playing around because I know how to build applications, but I've always built applications based on designs that were given to me by UI UX designers, right? I'm not a design person myself. So that's why I was building this, because I wanted to see how good I am or how bad I am, right? And that's why this application. Now, when I built this application, I obviously coded it, and it has the only functionality that it had was it would be able to compute the BMI of a user using their height and their weight, and then it would give the user the value of their BMI and what category they falls in, right? It's just that, nothing more. Now, with adding AI to this application, we are able to do more than that. We are able to enhance the user experience of users. So when we are adding this AI, we are able to give our user some advices on we can provide advices that they can make on their own lifestyle. This agent can do that. It can give a user personalized tips, or it can even help the user to store goals. It can give the user some goals, and then it can store these goals. It can store it as reminders. I don't have this functionality where it's sending notification yet, but if you wanted the agent to send notification, for instance, for the week, what the goal is, or for a specific day, it should be able to do this, because it's storing this information and it's able to give you reminders, right? So that's how powerful this is. Now, let's take a look at how we will be able to do this, how we can achieve this. In order to achieve this, okay, first of all, I already have this application created and it's already on my repository on GitHub. So if you want to play around and add the AI yourself, you can clone this repository and navigate to the Starter AI project, and then you can start adding the AI on your own, right? But the whole of the application has already been built. Okay, so now to make this application work, we will be installing a few packages, and they are very important packages. If you don't add them, it's not going to work. We are going to be using Firebase AI because we are leveraging onto its architecture, AI architecture that we spoke about earlier. We have to also install the Firebase core. That's how we will be using the Firebase SDK itself. And then we will be installing the Flutter AI Toolkit. Now, the Flutter AI Toolkit is a really cool package that has been built for us to leverage onto. We don't have to, once again, reinvent the wheel to write everything from scratch ourselves. I will show you how, with using this package, you can write some prompts to the model, and it's going to be giving you whatever that you need. So once you've installed these packages inside of your pubspec YAML file, we are going to be running the Firebase itself, because we have to set up Firebase inside of our project. Now, Firebase has given us a really cool tool, I would say. You can basically write Flutter file configure, and it will generate, you write this in your terminal or your command line, and it's going to be basically setting up Firebase inside of your Flutter project for yourself. Long ago, we would need to do this on the Firebase interface. We would have to create the project there, and then download the files and add them inside of our application. But now with Flutter File Configure, we can do all of this in the terminal. So to make this work, we have to log in Firebase. So we are using the Firebase login. Once you are authenticated, we will be running the Flutter File Configure. Now, we are running the Flutter File Configure because we want to either choose an existing Firebase project that we've already created, or we want to create a new one. And basically I'm going to create a new one. It's going to be called setFB here, as you can see. Once I've done that, it's going to ask me to basically choose the different platforms that I want to configure my Firebase on. Basically, you can configure it on Android, iOS, macOS, web, or Windows. For me, I've basically chosen to configure on all of the platforms because Flutter is cross platform, and I can write codes for all of these different platform using Flutter, right? So that's why I've chosen everything. Now Firebase is then going to check if you've already set the Firebase project inside of it, of the different platforms. So for instance, it's going to check for Android. If it doesn't exist yet, it's going to register it for you. Once this is done, it's going to be creating your Firebase app IDs, and that's how you know that, okay, Firebase has successfully been generated for you. Now, once this is done, we are not quite ready yet to start coding. We will have to basically check if 3 important files have been added for us automatically inside of our Flutter project. So these 3 files are the firebase.json. Firebase.json will always be at the root of your Flutter application. You have the Firebase option, which is a very important file, and it will be inside of your lib folder, and Google services, which will be in the different platform specific folders. Sorry, just give me 1 second. I'm talking too much, so I'm a bit thirsty. Yeah, sorry. So if these are found, if these have already been added, then you're fine. You don't need to now be worried how to add them. Now, after you've added, you've checked these, inside of your Firebase options, you will have to go there and manually check if you are able to see the app IDs that were generated earlier inside of your terminal, if it's written there, and you will have to check if the keys are there. If it's not there, it means that your Firebase option dot was not generated correctly. Then you will have to delete this file, and then you will have to rerun the Flutter configure for this to be regenerated. Otherwise, you won't be able to use Firebase correctly inside of your application. It's not going to run. Okay, now once you've done this, we are getting inside of a code. To make this run, we have to add 2 very important line of codes inside of our main.dot file in the main method. These line of codes are added for 2 main reasons. Flutter binding has to be added, otherwise your application is going to crash. Basically, Firebase is going to be talking to the different specific platforms that you have, Android, iOS, Windows, and if you don't add this, it's not going to be communicated properly, right? Now we are initializing the Firebase with platform specific configuration using default Firebase options. So this is calling the Firebase option dot that we have basically created earlier with the different app IDs and the keys. If you don't run this, if the Flutter engine is not able to detect this, it's not going to be able to run your Flutter application with Firebase correctly, because you don't have these keys, right? You have to have these keys to be able to use the AI model correctly, to be able to call them. Okay, I will only be showing you how we can add the AI using some codes, right? And then I will show you how it all came along. To make this work, I will be creating a coach provider. Now this coach provider is calling the Firebase provider. This Firebase provider it has a few parameters that we need to set. We have a model, which we are going to use is the Gemini 2.5 Flash. It has the system instruction. Basically, it's just prompts that we are giving to this AI agent. So you're just telling it, okay, you're a BMI buddy friendly coach, and you have to be giving some personalized advisors based on the BMI of this user. You should not never diagnose or give medications or treat or any other things to this user, because you're not a doctor, right? You're not a medical practitioner, so you should not do this. And if required, if the BMI is too low or if it's too high, then you should suggest that this user should see a doctor, right? So that's how it's working. Now, it's very important to tell the AI agent all of this information, because we don't want the AI to now start diagnosing this user. For instance, if let's say that this user is having specific problems, we don't want the AI to tell it, okay, you're going to die, or okay, take this thing, maybe it's better for you. We don't want to do this, because this AI is not a doctor, right? Once we have initialized this coach provider inside of our init state, we are going to be creating a method. This method is called the ask coach with context, and what it's going to do is that it's going to be providing the user information once again using prompts to this AI. So it's going to be telling the AI agent whether what's the name of this person. It's going to take its weight, its height, its BMI category that we will be calculating. And then it's going to be taking additional information, for instance, whether it's a female or a male, whether the person is an athlete or is pregnant or not. So all of this information which are very essential, right? So it's going to be providing this to this AI agent. Now, once this is done, we are going to be then sending this prompt using the send message stream to the agent itself. So that's what it's doing here. And then we will be basically having a button. This button is going to be calling the open agent panel method. And this method, it has basically a button sheet. So when I click on my button, it's going to open a button sheet, and it's then going to already provide in the background all of this user information, and my AI is just going to be replying, sending a response back to what this user should be doing, giving the person personalized advices or even goals, right? So that's what this is doing here. Now let's take a look. So once I've clicked on this button to open the coach, the agent, it's going to show a bottom sheet. Now this bottom sheet here, as you can see, it's providing the user. I've actually provided this agent some height and weight, which would make the user obese, right? Because I want to show you how extreme, how like the extremity of this agent, right? So here it's saying, okay, your BMI is in the obesity class 3 category. You are a woman, so it will be better, and it's also acknowledging that, okay, this is a woman's BMI, and then it's giving the person advice to maybe go to the doctor or see a dietitian for more advices that can help them be more healthy, right? But it also gives the user some tips, what they can do, and also help them get started with some goals. So they have goal 1 and goal 2. Now I can ask the agent, okay, can you set goal 1 for me? And it's going to say, okay, great, I've set this particular goal for you for this week. You've got this. Now I can also chat more and say, okay, did you set any goal for week 2? And it's going to say, no, do you want me to set now? Okay. And then in the third screenshot here, I'm showing you that basically I can ask the agent, okay, what was my goal for week 1, and it's going to say, okay, your goal for this week was to go for a 15-minute walk 3-4 times a week. So that's basically what this application is all about, right? Now let me show you the application itself and some codes. Okay, so this is basically the code. I'm going to run this in the meantime. So as you can see here, I have my Firebase.json that I spoke earlier that we need. It has to be created. I have my Firebase options, which has to be also created with the different app IDs and keys. And then in the different platform, we have Google Service Info, right, which has been generated. Now inside of your pub/spec YAML, we are adding the Flutter AI Toolkit. We are installing these packages. We have installed Firebase Core and Firebase AI and any other packages that you might need. Inside main.dot, we spoke about having Flutter binding initialized and the Firebase default Firebase option as well. Now Hive, I'm using this because I want to store my user information, right? That's why Hive. In my calculator string, I'm basically having the code that I'm creating like this. Okay, so earlier I spoke about having tools, right? So I'm passing it some tools. I'm telling it, okay, this is the user information that I'm passing through as tools, and that's how I can provide this external information, right? I'm providing external information to my agent. For example, you could have also passed like APIs inside of these tools. You write your API request and you pass it inside of these tools for your agent to leverage onto. Here is the function for ask queries with context. Here we are just doing some manipulation of data, and then the show modal, which I will show you in some minute. Okay, so here basically I have the different information that I'm setting. So I can say that, okay, I'm Zahra, a female, maybe I'm born in 1990, I don't know, 06. I'm not pregnant, I'm not an athlete, and no conditions, none. I can continue. Now the UX is not really that nice for when I will be opening this coach, but that's fine. Now I can enter my weight, which is 100. This is just an assumption, and this as height. I calculate my BMI. It's okay. You're obese, and then I can open the coach, and it's going to be giving me some information, and that's basically how this application is working. So I thank you guys for your attention. If you want to connect with me, please screenshot this QR code. You can reach out to me on Instagram if you on LinkedIn. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn if you have any questions. I would be more than happy to answer you there, because we are quite short of time, so I don't think we will be able to really have time for this Q&A. So thank you guys, and thank you for listening to me. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Thank you so much, Fatma, for such a nice session. I hope our audience have really enjoyed and have gotten the right knowledge